Yo, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. You already know it is your girl, Bree. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the best settings for maximum FPS and visibility on the new Warzone Black Ops 6 integration update. Before we start this video, I want to say thank you guys for all the support. We just crushed 21,000 subs here on YouTube, and it could not have been possible without every single one of you guys tuning into the live streams every day and showing love to the long form videos. Now, the specifications on my gaming PC are a 4070 Ti Super graphics card, and my processor is a Ryzen 7 7300XD. The main gist of this video is going to be putting the settings as low as possible while still maintaining performance. Without further ado, let's dive in so you guys can get into your own gameplay. So starting in the display tab, we're going to be rocking full screen borderless, and make sure this display monitor is whatever monitor or TV that you play on. Right here, it'll show that I'm playing on an RTX 4070 Ti Super. My monitor's refresh rate is capped at 144. I don't have a 240 hertz monitor yet, but make sure whatever your monitor goes up to is what this screen refresh rate is set to in the game. And also, if you can play on 1440, make sure you set the 2560 by 1080, or I'm sorry, 2560 by 1440. If you're playing on 1080, it'll be 1920 by 1080. Your aspect ratio is going to be 16 by 9 or wide. Display gamma is going to be set to 2.2. As far as brightness goes, I have found that 55 is the perfect level for both Resurgence and Big Map, but you can play around with this and pick your personal preference. As far as NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, we're going to have this on plus boost. This basically means low latency mode is now enabled, optimizing your system's latency. Basically just increases how fast your PC responds to stuff in game. Eco mode is going to be set to custom with both VSync on your gameplay and your menu set to off, with your custom frame rate limit set to unlimited. We're going to have reduced menu render resolution set to optimal. It's basically when you're in the menus and flipping through stuff, it's not going to draw as much power from your CPU and GPU. Pause game rendering set to off, with reduced quality when inactive set to 10 minutes. Meaning if you're away from your PC or you're not playing, it'll kind of quit drawing so much power. Focus mode is going to be set all the way down to 0. You're also going to want to make sure HDR is set to off. I personally feel like it looks horrible and makes the game perform very badly, but once again, personal preference, I choose not to use it. Now, this is going to be the juicer part of the settings, all the way down to quality. I have it set to custom, with my render resolution set to 100 on 2560 by 1440, but dynamic resolution set to off. And a lot of people wonder what upscaling / sharpening setting to play on. Shout out to Foves. He's the guy that does all of my PC tunings and overclocks and things like that. These are straight from the book settings to go by. We're going to be running Fidelity CAS, as well as NVIDIA DLSS turned to off, with the VRAM scale target set to 70. If you're experiencing a lot of hitching, I would recommend turning this up to 70. That's probably why you're experiencing the hitching you are. 70 is a really good number. 80, 90 is way too high. Variable rate shading set to on, with texture resolution and texture filter anisotropic set to normal. Depth of field is set to off. So a lot of you guys, if you're playing and you feel like whenever you aim down sight, it's kind of blurry and you don't know why, there's a lot of blur and just motion blur, turn this off, okay? That is the setting that you guys need to change. That's why you have that funky little blur and motion going on. Detail quality, particle resolution, both set to low, with bullet impacts and persistent effects set to off. This is going to be like when a grenade goes off and blows stuff up in a room, or if someone's trying to wallbang you, you see their bullets. It's unnecessary. You don't really need it. Just draws more power, makes you get less frames and less performance. We're going to turn shader quality low, on-demand texture streaming set to optimized, with low local texture streaming quality set to normal. All your shaders set to low, screen space shadows set to low, occlusion and screen space lighting set to low, static reflection quality set to low as well. Tessellation near, volumetric quality medium, deferred physics quality low, weather grid volumes normal, and water quality off. Basically what we're doing is tuning down all of these settings to the lowest possible setting so that it's not pulling as much from your PC to make the game look as good as it does. Get higher frames, better performance. That's all it comes down to. Now, if you want your game to look magnificent and you're playing on 4K, you can turn everything up to ultra and high, and your game is going to look insane, but you're not going to be pulling the same amount of frames as someone on low settings 1440 or low settings on 1080p. Now, as far as your view goes, you're going to turn off motion reduction preset and set your FOV to whatever you personally like to play on. I like to play on 120 affected. Now, weapon field of view, a lot of you guys have asked me how it looks like I'm running so fast, or why my screen looks so wide. Both your weapon field of view and your vehicle field of view need to be set to wide on these two settings. World motion blur, this is another one of those settings I was talking about. Whenever you're spinning in circles or you're picking your gun up, it'll look kind of shaky, look a little blurry. It makes the game feel terrible. Turn both of these off. and as well as your first person camera movement whenever you're flying in or jumping off something and you get massive screen shake, turn this to least, as well as third person. And the very bottom setting is the inverted flashbang setting. Basically, instead of your screen flashing bright white whenever you get flashed, it flashes with a black screen. I don't personally have this setting on because every time I get flashed with this setting on, I honestly feel like my computer crashed or my game deteriorated, so I don't like to use it. If you guys like to have the time, your GPU temp, your frames at the top, you're going to want to go to the interface tab under your settings, and you're going to click telemetry, and you're going to go to essentials, or you can do the drop down menu and pick specifically which ones you want. So I've got FPS counter, server latency, packet loss, my GPU temp, and the clock, so I can know what time it is whenever I'm streaming. Okay, that pretty much wraps up all the settings that I've got on my PC for maximum frames and performance. If you guys enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again very, very soon.